it's important for me to just be really true and authentic about my life. And in turn, that will give you a real representation of being a queer woman, rather than, I don't know, like having it as a thing. It's very icky to me. And also, I don't find it that interesting. So, you know, if I date a woman and she treats me terribly, then you'll hear about it. But hi, I'm Self-Esteem, and this is my cover shoot for Attitude magazine, out now. I settled on the stage name. I was in a band for a long time, and we would always talk about band names and how there's kind of no good band names, really, when you think about it. Like, bands become good, and therefore the name gets iconic, but actually at its core, they're just really embarrassing as a concept. But I always maintained that Self-Esteem or Sex Appeal would be a great band name, and if I ever started a new band, that's what I'd call it. And when I started making music as Self-Esteem as a solo artist, I was just too frightened to call it my name. It felt like too bold and too much of a, like, I'm gonna go and do this now thing. So I called the project Self-Esteem, and now we're stuck with it. But yeah, it's funny, it became what I needed. I didn't realise I had such low self-esteem, and then turns out I needed a lot of it. So, you know, universe shit. My music is inspired by pretty much just me, my feelings, and how I just get through existence. I'm very sensitive. I feel very big feelings, and that's always been sort of I've been made to feel quite bad about that, I think, and in society, certainly being British, being a woman, it's always felt like, shut up, calm down, be smaller, don't be any trouble. And then over the years, obviously, I've realised that that's why, you know, the source of my unhappiness and all the rest of it. So the self-esteem is me, I think, just realising that, I think processing a lot of stuff. And then I also think I've just got this inherent desire to help other people that have felt the same. I feel like I've got like a life hack where I'm like, oh, you can be exactly yourself, and that's nobody else's business. But I think I had no idea about that. And I'm kind of like trying to sort of, I don't know, teach everyone to not be so bothered about what everyone else wants of them. Winning the Attitude Music Award was honestly so enormous, and I'm not just saying it because I'm here. I've never won an award. I've always felt like I should. So it was like just so exciting. It's so important to me that it's, you know, it's an LGBTQ magazine. Like the acceptance of that is like massive. Like, my sexuality has always been something that I've not had a problem with, but it seems to be news to everyone else. So to just sort of settle in a way, and yeah, it was really like amazing. I'll like never ever forget it. What do I stand for? Oh my God, big question. But I think, like I said earlier, just like real, true self-acceptance, like this idea that we have to fit into what is expected of us. I think as humans, obviously as a woman in the music industry, it has been like pretty miserable. And I used to wake up every day like, how can I just be what they want in my relationships, in my career, in all my personal life, really. And then the penny dropped, you know, I don't know when it was, 5 years ago or something, of just like, what if I don't? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? So I think that's what I stand for. I think being brave enough to not try and fit in, because it's the fitting in that made me very mentally unwell. And now I'm just myself. I don't think I'm that radical or different. I just letting go, and I think I stand for that message of like, you know, I could sit here, we'd be here quite a while, me sort of detailing what I have had to let go of, but just that idea of self-acceptance and letting go, and nobody has a right to take anything from you, is what I stand for. There's quite a few things there. It's important to me in my music to represent the fact that I'm not straight, I guess, but I don't, it's not like a box ticking thing. It's not like oh, that'll look cool, or that's different. Like, and it's definitely been sort of suggested to me in that way in the past by different people. More like, I think women in pop music especially, it's very much like, I kissed a girl and I liked it kind of narrative, which I'm a big Perry head, and I'm sure it's like, time again, she wouldn't do it, but like, just the fetishization of queer women is where all we've actually got so far. So yeah, I suppose it's important for me to just be really true and authentic about my life. And in turn, that will give you a real representation of being a queer woman, rather than, I don't know, like having it as a thing. It's very icky to me. And also, I don't find it that interesting. So, you know, if I date a woman and she treats me terribly, then you'll hear about it. But like, it's more, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next decade, you know, because surely it can't be, you know, people, they go like bisexual, pop star, self-esteem, and it's like, are you kidding? Like, that's mad. Like, the fact that it's a thing is crazy to me. But then on the flip side, if there's some kid somewhere who isn't sure about how they feel about things and they like self-esteem and it makes them feel better, that they can go on the Wikipedia and it'll tell you I'm like bisexual, then that's fine too. My greatest pleasure in life, honestly, is when I've not got to put an alarm on and it's like 7 p.m. and I can just watch the telly and go to bed. I'm so sorry, but I guess it's just where I'm at the minute. I'm just so busy that, like, just being left alone to just watch EastEnders gives me a great pleasure at the minute. But also pleasure is, you know, going home from the party when you want to as well. I think people think this album title is really sexy. And of course, I mean, you know, that, but I mostly mean just pleasing yourself. Usually for me, that means going home.